Hey y'all, hope all is well. So today I want to talk about types and preferences. I did a video on it early on, um, but the reason why I came back up is because a young man and I was talking not too long ago, and he asked me, how do I feel about men that have types? How do I feel about people that have types? And how I felt then is how I still feel now. And I basically told him that I feel like basically you shallow. When you have types, you are shallow. So we both, of course, disagreed on that thing. He didn't agree with how I felt about it. I didn't agree with how he felt about it. But, it is what it is. You agree to disagree, agree to agree. It is what it is. Whether you feel the same way or not, that's fine. But at the end of the day, when you ask for something and you ask the person for their opinion and you want to know, then expect the truth, So we're going into types and going into preferences. Basically, they wanted to know, okay, if what's wrong with having types or whatnot. So I was like, well, having types, I feel like if you have a type, then you are shallow, meaning that you stuck on one specific thing. And when you stuck on one specific thing, then you're shutting yourself out. And you're not allowing other things to come in. You sold on, it's like tunnel vision. Like you're stuck to one thing and you're not able to see other things around you or whatnot that might have even better value than the thing that you're just so sold on. So basically, they was like, okay, well, it's your preference. You can have your own preference and this and that, and it's fine. You can have your own preference. Please do. But understand that when you have your own preference, especially if you coming from an immature perspective or if you haven't grown yet, then 9 out of 10, your types, your preferences are going to be so, like, unhealthy. It's going to be ridiculous. So you have to understand that everything that you want is not what you need. Everything that you want is not good or is not healthy for you. The same way with food, the same way with appetite. It's a lot of things I prefer over salad. It's a lot of things I prefer over vegetables. I like a little soul to my stuff. I like season, a little extra stuff to it. Is it good for me? No. But that's what I prefer, right? So the same thing with relationships, same thing with preferences, same things with types, okay? Don't let your types kill you, okay? Don't let your types mess you up, because they will. Because another issue with it is, it's like I said, there's nothing wrong with what you like, okay? It's nothing wrong that I'd rather have a pizza over your salad, okay? It's nothing wrong with it or whatnot. But what is wrong with it is how it affects you, okay? So, or you prejudging the thing prematurely, because a lot of times when you have types or you have preferences, 9 out of 10, I can tell you where you have prejudged things prematurely. Because 9 out of 10, you're prejudiced. And prejudice is basically when you prejudge things before getting to know them. Okay? So, if you like to be boxed in, you just sold on something specific, then go ahead. That's on you. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to suffer from those consequences. I'm not gonna miss out. That's you, and it's fine. So you just have to be really mindful when you get into, I like them dark, I like them tall, even though I do. I mean, like, if I I prefer for a person to be taller, then that's what I prefer. But at the same time, don't discredit a person for being short. Just because you prefer a person that's tall, don't be so shallow to not think that that person that's not short won't have the same things that a person have that's tall. So what I mean is, your type should not change based on your experience or whatnot. Meaning, light-skinned dudes, I don't fool with them because they just too arrogant. You know, and that's, to me, that's really shallow. Or all women, you know, you putting people in categories, and that's how your type is formed. Now, if your type is formed that way, then you're very immature, and you need to go back to the drawing board, and you need to figure out what your types are coming from, because your types, at the end of the day, are gonna come from heavily from your experiences. So I know people get into zodiac signs. I don't like Pisces, or I don't like Pisces because they manipulative. I don't like Leos because they self-centered, you know, or, you know, just certain things. You have to be mindful of your types, and you categorizing things because they're based on your experiences, and if your experiences are negative, then you're gonna be prejudiced, and you're gonna form types, unhealthy types, that will at some point harm you, you know, and be a disservice to you, because at the end of the day, you are what you eat. So if you have an appetite for certain things, for the big booties, for the big breasts, or for the tall, you know, chocolate and all that extra stuff, and you being shallow about it because you're so caught up on materialistic things or how things look instead of how things feel or whatnot, you need to know, you gotta see past how a person look, you know, because looks will deceive you. Okay, you can't judge a book by its cover. And if you have types that are formed based off bad experiences, then you're gonna judge a book by its cover. You know, so you definitely want, like I said, you want to be mindful of your types, because a lot of, like I said, you know, not to exclude myself, because at the end of the day, my types, my preferences, or whatever I prefer comes to what I'm used to. And you can't get so caught up on what you used to, because hey, you'll never have your mind blown if you get so caught up in what you used to, okay? And what you think you want, you know, because a lot of times we think we know what we want, but it's really not what we should, what's better or what's best, okay? So we definitely got to get into, we got to reprogram these thoughts when it comes to what a real man, what a real woman, what a good woman, what a good man looks like, because they're all formed based on your experience, your morals, your values, okay? Because my definition of a good man will be different from your definition. You know, it's kind of like Build-A-Bear type of thing. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, you have preferences. You might want your bear to talk. I might like mine to be quiet. You know, but you have to really dive into why your preferences are your preferences, because that will tell you a lot about you. And if you need to go back to the drawing board and reiterate, okay, create what you really should prefer, you know, or what really is good for you, or what really should be your so-called type. Because like I said, I don't have a type, but yet I have a type. You get what I'm saying? So basically, my type won't be so shallow, okay? It won't be so narrow that won't nothing new be able to come in. My type would be more generalized, okay? Your type shouldn't be so um so um so narrow. I mean, I probably got that confused. I don't know what I just said, but my type will be more broad, okay? More as in a person that knows how to treat me. I don't care how you look if you know how to treat me well. But at the end of the day, your appearance needs to be somewhat, you can't be all over the place. You can't be sloppy, of course. So, of course, you're going to have certain things, but at the end of the day, the more narrow your type is, 9 out of 10, that's the more issues and the more problems you're going to have or whatnot, because like I said, you draw what you are to you. So if you're so narrow-minded in how you perceive things and what you want, then you're going to get just what you want. And 9 out of 10, what you want probably going to end up destroying you. And you have to focus more so on what you need. Because to me, at this point in my life, it's about what I need over what I want or whatnot. Because, like I said, when dealing with types, they need to be so broad that you can't pinpoint it on a specific person, a specific race. Okay? So, for example, if I say this is my type, meaning in a healthy sense, okay? Because I'm like, hey, Michelle on that. I love them all. I ain't got no type when it comes to if I want you to be, if you have to be, okay? You can have a type, but it don't need to stop who you entertain, who you deal with, because, oh, nah, he has to be tall. Oh, no, she has to have this type of body. Oh, it should never stop you dealing with a person because of that. Now, don't mix your type with standards, because standards are different or whatnot when it comes to dealing with it. That's when your morals and your values come into it. It's different from types. I'm more shallow. I'm more what meets the eye type of thing and preferences. Okay, what is more about what you like. It's your preference more so than standards. Standards is a type of, it's a level, okay? It's a standards are up there with your values and your morals, okay? And those are things that you should not drop, okay? Types, things you can drop all day. And preferences, things that need to go up and down, and you need to continue to reevaluate, okay? But standards should never move down. They should never go down. They should always continue to go up, 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 and up, but they should never decline, but like I said, types, at the end of the day, they will always ascend, descend, they will always change. So this, don't get them mixed up or whatnot, because a lot of people are getting them mixed up or whatnot. So for my example, when I say your types should be broad, it should be like I want a person that knows how to treat me, a person with good character. Okay, you see how broad that is? But if I get into types and I be like, or preferences, oh, I prefer a tall man over a short one, or I prefer a man with a degree over a non-degree man, and we all know we got some educated fools. So I would be so shallow to say that, oh no, you have to have a degree for me to talk to you. Even when it comes to money, if I be like, oh, you need to have some money to talk to me, then I'm very shallow, because at the end of the day, like I said, money come and go. So I ain't caught up over your money, because, hey, of course you don't want nobody to be broke, especially if you're not. So that goes back to standards. I have a standard when it comes to dealing with certain people. That's not a type, okay? But it becomes an issue and it becomes a type when I be like, oh, if you make less than $50,000, I ain't talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Or you make less than $100,000, then you being narrow-minded, and you need to you need to check yourself, okay? Because you being very shallow. And you're going to miss out on some good stuff just by wanting certain things. Because at the end of the day, yeah, he might be making a certain amount now, but how you going to look when he making more than you? And this ain't no case that I'm saying raise them up. I ain't saying raise them up at all. Don't raise them up. You let them, you let them grow up on their own. I ain't saying be their mama. I ain't saying he got to be your son. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying that, it's a difference at the end of the day. So don't get so caught up in materialistic things, because seasons change. And yeah, you might make him more than him today, but in a year or two, he might be the breadwinner or whatever. So like I said, at the end of the day, you don't want to get so caught up in types, because if your mind right, your character right, your soul right, that intellect right, he can drop a little knowledge too. You know what I'm saying? You might win me. I'm just saying. You might win me over that brother that's got it, appear to have it all. And like I said, people can appear to have it all day. Don't mean they got it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here perpetrating. So you might get fooled by what you think, what you appear. So that's why you have to be very careful with types, because that's your type, and what you so sold on might not even have no depth to them, okay? And 9 out of 10, they're going to be just as shallow as you are, okay? So you have to be careful with your wants, because I promise you it's not going to meet half of your need. Not even close, okay? So that's it for today. Y'all be great.